I am 20f, 30 weeks pregnant, but my dad wants me to move out. I 20f am currently 30 weeks pregnant, but my father is demanding I move out. For context, I am on the lease and pay 1/3 or rent and bills. I am financially independent, but there is a housing crisis going on in my country and I wouldn't be able to afford the rising rent on my own like I could if the rent was the same as it was before. My mother has been very supportive and doesn't want me to move out, and it's affecting my parents' marriage. When I first found out I was pregnant, I was going to abort, but my father threatened to disown me, so I decided to keep it. Now that I am further along, I've developed a bond with my baby and love him so much and want to keep him, but my dad is pissed with that too. It seems I can't do anything right by my dad. I just don't know what to do or how to fix this. TLDR. I am pregnant, but my dad wants me to move out, but there's a housing crisis and he's also pissed that I'm having a baby, even though he said he would disown me if I aborted. Can the father of the baby provide any support? Well, unfortunately for him, you're on the lease and you have a legal right to live there. So he threatened to disown you if you aborted the baby, but is kicking you out? Knowing that you need somewhere to stay with a baby. Being a new mom, having somewhere to stay should be the least of your worries. He didn't allow you to make decisions for yourself. The least he can do is be supportive. Stand your ground. You are an adult and you are on the lease and pay a portion of rent due. Tell him he can keep his opinions to himself. BC, you aren't leaving just to appease him. If he has an issue, he can leave. Talk to the landlord as well. See if they have any other rentals available and give them a heads up that your father may try convincing them to evict you due to your being pregnant. If they know ahead of time, then he should be able to manipulate the landlord to doing his bidding for him. Also, put your foot down that if he continues to harass you, that you can report him. Harassment of a pregnant woman gets taken pretty seriously depending where you are. The immediate answer is that your name is on the lease. I don't know which country you're in, but in just about all of the ones I'm familiar with, you can't get kicked out without an eviction notice from the landlord, and there are usually consequences for that. Then, since it sounds like your dad is going to try and make life miserable, you should still look into social programs that will help you get out of that situation. And finally, go NC with your dad, who will inevitably one day remember his mortality and want a relationship with his kid and grandchild, and won't be able to fathom why you want nothing to do with him. You dad is an ass. If you contribute to the household and your name is on the lease, then tell him to shut up and deal with it. No parent should force a pregnant child out. Your father sounds like a male chauvinist pig, and this is coming from a male perspective. How could you leave if you are on the lease? Does your dad want to buy you out? Your dad's position makes no sense. If the father of the baby is not around, check to see what resources are available for young, unwed mothers. A lot of areas have homes for people in your situation. Good luck. Your father can't kick you out, but he can make your life miserable. I would recommend looking into social service and domestic abuse. His horrible treatment toward you is abusive. Agencies for assistance. Depending on where you live, you may qualify for a housing assistance voucher or an opening in a family-oriented housing facility. Also, just to get him to back off. It may help to warn your father that abuse of a pregnant woman can be an arrestable offense, especially if his behavior threatens the well-being of you or your child. If you're on the lease, you have a legal right to live there. At least until the end of the lease, when your dad may well decide to not live there just so he won't have to live with you. So you may want to come up with a game plan for the very real and upcoming possibility that you will be on your own whether you like it or not. Your dad is a butthole. Stop listening to him. Legally you can stay, but you need to weigh the added stress. Can you get a place with friends? If you cannot find alternate comfortable living arrangements, stay and ignore him. Do not give any value to his opinions going forward. If he implodes his marriage, that is his fault and has nothing to do with you. What is your mother doing to protect you? If you're on the lease and paying, he can't kick you out. Is he the landlord or are you guys renting from someone? You're on the lease. His only option is to move if he doesn't like it. Make it clear that if he attempts an illegal eviction, the police will be involved and he will be the one told to leave. He cannot kick you out. If he does anything, you can call the police. Also, you are not responsible for your parents' marriage. That is all on your dad. If you and your mom can pay the lease on your own, then ask him to move out. Start standing up to him. If you're on the lease, he can't kick you out. Make him feel like the miserable fart he is. Lol. How pro-life of your dad. I don't think you should move out since you're on the lease, so talk with him about that. If that doesn't work and it gets to this point, go to the church he attends and ask for help finding a new home, supplies. See how quickly he changes his mind. So, it's clear that this is both a cultural thing and a Catholic thing with your dad. I'm guessing he started out angry that you had sex before marriage, segued to pissed off that you had ons, and moved right into apoplectic that you got pregnant from said ons. And he's never been able to emotionally recover. In his mind, you are now a symbol of his failure as a dad. His cultural and Catholic guilt are probably overwhelming. Tough toenails. This is 2022 and the Catholic Church no longer controls the world. Neither does your dad. I'm so very sorry that you started out by even telling him you were pregnant. If you had said nothing and just aborted without anyone knowing, this wouldn't have happened. Hindsight is such a raging bitch. Now, you're gonna have to deal with your decisions. Your decisions. Not your dad's or your mom's. You chose to keep the baby and you're gonna be a single mom. So you need to start acting like a mom and not your dad's daughter. Time to put your big girl pants on. You are on the lease and are paying your share of the rent and bills. Just tell him that you are sorry he is unhappy. But it's not your problem and you won't be leaving until lease ends. Period. Then, you need to make a plan. Because, if the lease doesn't allow for a fourth person in the house, the landlord could kick you out for breaking the terms of the lease. Start looking at options now, and get a plan. Good luck to you. P.S. Once your baby is born, you may be able to use something like 23andMe to use DNA to track down the father of the baby. You're on the lease. He can move out if he doesn't like it. Woman shrugging. If you're on the lease, nothing he can do. But I'd look into support programs just in case. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doomscrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.